A few months ago, you loved seeing what red cabbage could do on paper. Well, today we're taking it up a notch. I'm experimenting with coffee and cabbage and a few other surprises to see what kind of effects we can create. Some are subtle, some are bold, but every single one is totally unique. But first, let me share a sneak peek of some of the results so that you get an idea of what to expect. So let's dive in and see the magic unfold. Welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. So let me start off by quickly sharing which kind of papers I will be dyeing. So I have a few of these small white envelopes. I have two larger white envelopes. I have these manila papers. They were from kind of an album or a book from the Goodwill store. Not really sure what these were used for originally, but it doesn't matter. I have these, which are great, but what might happen with these is that the red could bleed. We'll see. This is just a paper pad from a hotel. We have some regular copy paper. And finally, we also have this artist pad, 180 GSM paper in natural white. So I'll take a few out from these as well. I have two containers here. This rusty one is the one I always use for my coffee dyeing. So I have my coffee mixture here. So what I like to use is the cheapest instant coffee that I can find. And for this amount, I'm not quite sure how much this is, maybe a liter or so, quarter of a gallon maybe. I put in 2 heaped tablespoons of the granulate and just fill it up with the hot water. This has cooled in the meantime. And for the second container, I'm going to use cabbage water, which is beautifully blue. What a gorgeous, gorgeous color. It looks different actually in the video. In real, it looks a lot more teal blue, almost like evergreen bough, you know that color? So if you haven't seen the video on how I make this dye and some of the beautiful papers that I got from using it, please check the video link below. So let's see what beautiful 2-colored versions we can get. And let's just start playing and experimenting. Let's start off with these small envelopes. So for this one, let's do kind of like half in coffee. Maybe we can just leave it like this for a moment. And for the next one, let's do half, but in the other direction. And for the third one, let's just kind of dip it in, maybe diagonally. I would like these to soak just for a moment to get a little bit more of that color. I'll pull this down a little, yeah. So while those are soaking a little bit, let's move on to these envelopes. Let's start off with the blue dye here. Let's try half this way. These might need to soak a little bit longer. And since this one always keeps slipping into the water, why don't we just clip that onto our glass container. I'm going to add a little more of the cabbage water. This one here might be a little more intense than the one that's in here because I had the cabbage soaking in it for longer. Okay, then I think we can take this out. Of course, we're never going to get a completely straight line, which is totally fine. I think this will just add to the interesting look at the end. So then let's immerse it here. That one just sticks there. I'm so curious how this is going to look. Let's take this one out and set it here. And this one we can immerse again diagonally, more or less. So next, let's take another one of the big ones. So these are the manila ones. The color will of course be a little bit different than on anything white. And I guess over time this is going to change because obviously we're going to be getting some of the coffee into the blue. But I think that's totally fine. Just put that here on the side. So while we let those soak a little bit, I'm just going to take some of the regular copy papers and also immerse them here in the coffee because I need those anyway. Will I be adding blue to them? Maybe. And I actually like it when they have some white spots left in them, like here. Oh, I just got some coffee in there. You see that spreading here? That's okay. None of this is precision work. So I'll just put those on the floor on some newspaper in the meantime. Okay, so then let's take some of these out. Can't really see that it's blue, but I hope it will look different once it's dry. So again, I'll put these on the floor on my newspaper. Okay, for this one, I think I do want a little more coffee here. Let's try these. Let me put one in here, one in here. I'll let them soak for a couple of minutes. Okay, it's just been like about 2 minutes. This one is ready to come out. Okay, this one, interestingly, did not bleed now with the coffee, so that's great. We'll let this one here soak a little more. In the meantime, I'll add some of these hotel papers. Partially. Okay, let's take this one out. Oops. Does not look very blue at the moment, but we'll see once it's dry. And then we can transfer these over to the blue water. I think even just like this, it would look very interesting. I forgot to show you at the beginning, I also have these like yearly planners, which I found at my Goodwill I think a couple of months ago. So let's add these here as well. Okay, so again, it's been a couple of minutes. Let's take these out carefully. I think this one is gonna look really nice once it's dry. I know you can't see that it's blue in the camera at all, but I think when it's dry, we will. I would love these gradients. I'm so curious what these will look like once they're dry. So then we can also take these out and add them here. Oops, this last one fell in completely. That's okay. Next, I want to try some of this 180 GSM artist paper. And in the meantime, I also put some of the blue cabbage water in my spray bottle. And I will add a little bit here to the coffee dyed one. And also to the cabbage dyed one. And then I'll add some of the coffee granulates into those puddles. And then for this one here, let's add some coarse grained salt in those puddle areas. I'll spray a little more of that cabbage water. Okay, coming back to these, why don't we take these out? And these we can transfer to the cabbage water. Continuing with the hotel paper pads, I'm wondering if we could do some of these different shades even more intentional by just first putting it in just a little bit and then moving it in a little bit more. You know what I mean? Let's play with that a little bit. Just to get different shades of coffee. So these here are ready to take out. Very, very light. These we could now move in a little bit further. And in the meantime, we'll add some more of these hotel papers, which I think are taking the color better, for example, than the artist paper. And this has now turned like into a grayish green. I think you can kind of see that now in the camera. So there's quite a bit of coffee in here. In the meantime, can we see the difference? So this is the, let's say, the pure cabbage water, and this is the one now mixed with a little bit of coffee. I think you can kind of see the difference. Wow. But I also really love this color, I have to say. So these four are the ones with the artist paper, which are very light. So let's add a little bit more of the cabbage water to make some more puddles. And also add a little bit of that coffee granulate to bring a little more interest to those papers. Okay, we're back to our table, and now we can completely immerse these. Just for a second, and then we'll see if we see a gradient once these are dry. We already see a line here, but will we see the difference between the darkest and the middle? I'm not sure. And for a little extra fun, we'll add some more salt to these. And these I think we'll leave white for now, and maybe we'll add some coffee sprinkles to them. So I'll put these onto my newspaper. So first of all, with these two where I added the coffee granulates, this is a bit dark for my taste, so let's just have that run a little bit. I could spray some more water on it. I have some puddles here now. I'll just put this right on top. And then moving on to the ones that I just took out. Let's just take our fingers and splatter some coffee on them. The last two I'm going to leave as they are. Then I have some of those regular coffee dyed papers that I dyed at the beginning under here, 4 of them. And I put some placemats on top. And I'll again use my cabbage spray on top. I don't know how well we're going to see this. This might be too subtle because it's really not pigmented that much. But let's see. Maybe we'll get a nice surprise. Okay, this spray bottle is not really working well. So maybe let's just try something else. So let's use the opportunity and try some different sprays. So I'll try this Distress Spray Stain Lost Shadow. And on this one, I'll do a mix of Lost Shadow and my Eye Zinc Dye Spray Gold Mine, which is almost empty. And then I have 4 more of those plain coffee dyed papers, and I have my blue cabbage solution here, and just try to maybe brush some of it on to have a little more control of the areas we want to change. And then the last one, we'll just do some splatters. And you remember these here? These were the artist papers. And since they still have these puddles, I'm going to again use this turquoise by Seth Apter and just use the nozzle to add some more interest there. Let's see what happens. Wow, that looks pretty cool. And then I have a few of these balls. This is the copy paper, which I soaked in the blue cabbage water for about half an hour. And I'm going to spray the balls with some, that sounds horrible. I'm going to spray this paper with some Distress Spray Stain Tarnished Brass. And some of them I will also spray with this Eye Zinc Dye Spray by Seth Apter called Turquoise. Ooh, wow, ooh. Wow, okay, I'll just leave it at that. That's a lot. Oh my goodness, can you just see this? That already looks amazing. So I'm super curious to see what that will look like once that's dry. So it's the next day, and I would like to share with you all of the results. Let's go from least favorite to favorite. These top ones are the ones where I used my wide brush. So this is the one where I just splattered. Not too thrilled about this one. Actually, this side is a lot nicer. I don't know actually what is front and what is back. So this is where I went with the brush twice like this. I mean, the designs are interesting, but yeah, not too crazy about these. And there's the 4th one. So all of these were regular copy paper. This here is the 180 GSM artist paper, where we added the turquoise Eye Zinc Dye Spray at the end. I loved how it looked when we added it. Don't love so much how it looks now. but definitely usable. This here is quite interesting, I think, and this here actually as well. Hardly went through to the back at all. And there's the last one of those. So we added the granulated coffee in the puddles, and then we added the turquoise. These are the two where we added the granulated coffee into the puddles as well. This one was dyed in coffee. This one was dyed with the blue cabbage. Back sides. They're all right, not too bad. Then we have the ones where we had the placemats, and I sprayed through. First I tried the cabbage liquid, and then I added the Lost Shadow Distress Spray Stain. So this one is quite nice. This one is also quite interesting. I don't know if the cabbage spray is showing through at all. I'm not sure which parts are Lost Shadow and which are the cabbage, to be honest. But the mixture of it is pretty cool. And these two are my favorite. Actually, this one here in particular, because we have the combination of the Lost Shadow and some of the gold spray that we added, which was, I think, this one here. Tarnished Brass Distress Spray Stain. That's the other one. Then we have these trifolds where we dip them first in the coffee and then in the cabbage water, or vice versa. I don't remember which one was first. They're not spectacular, but I do love this gradient. The camera is not really doing it justice. I do think that is a fun effect. On this one, we added some salt. That's why we see these fun designs here. Then we have some more with the gradients. So we have our 3 envelopes. I like these a lot. Very subtle. And the yellow that you see here comes from the yellow that was on my newspapers on which they dried. Love, love, love this gradient. How fun is that? And we have it here on this larger envelope. Again, the yellow from the newspaper. Lots of yellow here. Here we have the ones with some more coarse salt. Love these designs a lot. Very, very cool. This is the back. And we have this one. Again, I just love when there's white parts. There's some here as well. I mean, that's just awesome. And then we have this one. Again, this has a little bit of yellow. And I think this is the last one with the salt. Again, love the combination with the whites and some splatters here. Here we have some more gradient ones, and you might think there's hardly any color on here, but if we compare it with the original, we do see it has a blue shade. And I just love the gradient. I love that this here, where the two colors combined, is again a different shade. And do you hear? That's the best about dyed papers, right? The sound is just incredible. So on this one, we just had the blue cabbage dye and left part of it white. Also cute. These are the ones where we splattered some coffee. This is the second one. And finally, we have these, which I thought we could open together and see the results together. I'm of course most curious about these. Okay, and they're not tearing, so that's great. I just balled these up quite loosely. And this was regular copy paper. You can't tell on camera that it has a blue tone at all. We did soak these in the blue cabbage water before. So these were the ones where we only added the, what was it? I think it was the Seth Apter Gold Mine, or maybe it was the tarnished brass. I don't remember. It's a gold. And this one, I think, is the last one that only has the gold. I just love, especially with these, that you really never know what you're going to get. So these are the ones with the turquoise and gold. Oh wow, love this part here. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Stunning. And of course, ironed, they look even better. And there you have it. Every sheet, every experiment, each one totally unique. Some are more subtle, some are more bold, but all are full of possibilities. Which one is your favorite? I'd love to hear it in the comments. And remember, in the world of paper dyeing, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.